As I soften and abide more in non-separation, I'm noticing so clearly the ways in which I create separation when I do, and they really stick out and feel very painful. For instance, when I'm with my therapy clients, I want to help them and know how to help them, especially when they're in distress. It pulls me into a sense of being a doer. I see a sweetness in that, but I also feel there's something I'm not seeing or that I'm trying to push.
Yeah, the first thing that comes up has to do with, I guess, the frame through which you operate in your work, and what how is it that you imagine or conceive that you help? And I know that's like a rabbit hole of a question. But I'm not asking you to go into it and answer that now, because it's like a conversation for many sessions in a sense. But that's what I think, that's where the kind of crux will be. And in a sense, an antidote will always be matching that with whatever it is that is the way in which you can help, matching it with the understanding that you can't. In a sense, like a balance, like it's really not up to you and there's nothing you can do. And it's neither one or the other. But then that can also, in a sense, feed into, and not in any kind of thought process, but holding both of those will keep in all of the process of how you can help kind of, let's say, in a bit of in check, so that it doesn't become too important, or it doesn't become too self-involved.
It doesn't feel like it's about me needing to have success in helping. It feels more like I'm responding to something or doing that seems necessary. It's as if I need to know what to do, like a response to distress or to seeing the client struggling.
Yeah, but look at that implies that there's something you can do. And that's why I'm saying, bring into your awareness the notion that there's nothing you can do. And that as a, let's say, a partial truth, like the yin and the yang. And so that's going to balance all of the energies of you being there to do something.
So you're saying it's both. I tend to think either I can't do anything or I'm doing everything.
That's the mind. The mind will want to pick a side, and then that'll be the solution and the strategy and the fix.
It feels very visceral and uncomfortable, with a sense of contraction in the body and a pulling into a sense of self.
Yeah.
And it only happens with patients who are in more distress, or when I think they might lose faith in therapy. Then there's this visceral sense of my body and their body reacting to each other. It's like a reaction to meeting their distress and feeling the contraction.
All of that is just the conditioning. And so all of the discomfort, all of that, those movements, the body, the energetics, that has to do with body, mind, and conditioning. And that has to be included. You can't just push that away. But keep that in the balance where it's really not up to you. And it's not either that or the other. Because it's all of the mechanism of selfing, which you described. Notice how you will tend to keep referring back to, but there's something else. But there's also this. There's also this. And that's the mind looking for some other path, some other thing to address, some other thing to resolve, some other dynamic that's happening with the client. And it's pulling you away from just presence. There is room and a necessity for you to engage, for you to speak, for you to do the art and the practice that you do. But anything that starts to move you away from the complementary reality, not the absolutely true reality, that it's not up to you. And you can't do anything.
I'm not even doing anything. It's so clear.
Yeah, but you can't do anything.
Yeah, I can't fix. I can't help.
And it's not up to you. You can't do it. It's not up to you. But then that's just half of it. That's kind of in the yin yang, is one side. But if you drop one side, if the other side starts to become more prevalent, then you're getting pulled into a mind identification, mind, body, strategy, role.
That's what feels so difficult, because part of it is that I am a psychotherapist.
You're stepping into that role, but it's a difference. You're not that. I understand, like, in normal speaking, you would say I'm a psychotherapist, but in this moment, I think it's important to be precise. In the moment of the session, during the session, you are in only one way stepping into the role. But if you then become that, it's identification. And then all of the aspects that you're describing will become more activated and more, let's say, in the way. Ultimately, all you can do is be in presence. And ultimately, if there's no presence, no matter what you do, nothing will work. And what is presence? It's not a non-identification.
But the role implies certain techniques and behaviors, and yet you're not identified and are in presence. So do the behaviors of the role just happen naturally when they arise?
I would say that's for you to explore. This is what I'm suggesting to keep in mind. In some place in your attention when that's happening, just the directive, the pointer, because it's going to be a mental pointer in the words. There's nothing I can do. It's not up to me. And then that, in a sense, is a bit of a short circuit to part of the process that's happening, because it's going to push you to be in a constant balancing. And that, so this is where, if we keep talking about what it would look like and how to do it, it's more of falling into the side of the strategy, the techniques, versus keep this pointer. One way to think of it is, and I'll kind of refer to Richard. I know you know him. He used to say, keep 1/7 of your attention in God. and he was playing with the kind of the Sunday is the day for God in Christianity. So you use one day of the week to pay attention to God and then forget about him the rest of the days. And you're saying just keep a seventh of your attention in God at all times. This is a metaphor, it's a pointer. But in a similar sense, keep in your awareness during the session the pointing, there's nothing you can do, it's not up to you. You have no power to help fix or change anything. And you don't need to have it. Because it's not up to you. That's only half. Because that then can become an identification. So that's why it's, in Richard's point, it's like, keep a seventh of your attention in what? What is God? It's mystery. It's what I cannot comprehend. It's what's beyond me. It's what's not up to me. It's the power that I do not have. In that kind of metaphor, right? In that.
My attention is in presence. I feel it all the time during my sessions, but you're talking about something else, right?
I'm talking about something else that has to do with how you operate. At the level of when you're navigating how to relate, what to say. And also what's happening in your body, in your energetics. And to a degree, you're already doing this, I'm sure of it. It's just kind of a deepening because of what's happening, what you've been sharing.
Yeah, the best moments in therapy are when something just comes out of thin air. So what you said is really helpful, reminding myself that there's nothing I can do and that I don't have the power to change anything.
And also, like, you can never fully understand what is needed.
So in a way, it's a bit of humility.
It's also not that this is freedom, but this is the movement towards, and the humility is that as well. It's freedom from the belief that it's up to you and you can do it. But it's always, I want to clarify, it's freedom from that because that's what's pulling you. To the next person, it could be, there's nothing I can do, it's not up to me. Freedom from that is, you can move, you can do. A lot is up to you, right? That's where the mind is very tricky. The ways in which we identify are multiple and very kind of complementary in a sense.
Yeah, it's almost like a flow.
That's the middle way in Buddhism, right? Like they talk about the views, meaning what kind of perspective I'm stepping into. And so if I have a view that it's up to me and I have to do it, that's a perspective, that can become an identification. The view, it's not up to me, I have nothing to do, nothing I can do, that can become an identification. Now, what's the middle path? Both are true, both are false, yin yang. at some moment in some situation, more of one is more appropriate, more of the other is more appropriate.